James Gandolfini as Tony Soprano. James Gandolfini was born on September 18, 1961, in Westwood, New Jersey, a quiet little town where he grew up before entering the whirlwind of Hollywood. At age 38, he took on the role of Tony Soprano in the 1999 film The Sopranos, embodying a crime boss who not only dominates the underworld but also grapples with explosive rage and deep internal conflicts. This role was not only a turning point in his career, but it also reshaped modern television, transforming Tony into an enduring icon, both terrifying and profoundly human and tragic. Gandolfini's talent earned him 3 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor, a testament to his extraordinary performance. Behind the glamour of this legendary role, James Gandolfini's personal life was filled with both successes and challenges. He married Marcy Wodarski in 1999, the same year the film The Sopranos was released, and they had a son, Michael. However, the pressures of fame, a busy work schedule, and personal challenges led to their divorce in 2002. Not long after, he found new happiness with Deborah Lynn, whom he married in 2008 in an intimate ceremony in Hawaii. They had a daughter, Liliana, in 2012. But over time, James's health quietly deteriorated as he faced stress and struggled with alcoholism. On a fateful afternoon of June 19, 2013, while on holiday in Rome, Italy, he suffered a heart attack that led to his death at the age of 51. Edie Falco Trungvai Carmela Soprano. Edie Falco was born on July 5, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York, amidst the bustling and vibrant streets of the city that never sleeps. Growing up in a family with an artistic tradition, her father a jazz musician, her mother an actress, Edie was exposed to the stage early on and nurtured a dream of becoming a professional actress. However, her path to success was not quick. For many years, Edie struggled with minor supporting roles and failed auditions before luck finally smiled upon her. In 1999, at the age of 36, Edie Falco was cast as Carmela Soprano in The Sopranos. The wife of Tony Soprano, a character seemingly hidden behind her husband's fame, yet holding the moral and emotional weight of the entire family, Carmela embodies contradiction. A devout woman yearning for a righteous life, yet simultaneously accepting and benefiting from her husband's criminal world. Edie portrays Carmela not as a mere victim, but as a complex, strong individual torn between conscience and safety. It was this psychological depth that made Carmela Soprano one of the greatest female characters in television history. Edie Falco's performance earned her 4 Emmy Awards, a rare achievement, confirming that she was not just the mafia boss's wife on screen, but a true emotional pillar of the cast. The Sopranos' every glance, every moment of silence from Carmela held pain, anger, and a repressed yearning for freedom. In real life, Edie Falco is also a quiet warrior. She never married, but chose to be a single mother, adopting 2 children, Anderson in 2005 and Macy in 2008. In 2003, at the height of her career, Edie was diagnosed with breast cancer, a major shock that forced her to temporarily withdraw from the spotlight for treatment. With incredible willpower and resilience, she overcame the disease and returned stronger than ever. By 2025, at age 62, Edie Falco will continue to shine in television and stage projects, becoming an icon of inner strength and resilience. Carmela Soprano is not only her defining role, but also a reflection of Edie's own life. Quiet, strong, and never giving up. Tony Sirico as Paulie Walnuts Gualtieri. Tony Sirico was born on July 29, 1942, in Brooklyn, New York, and grew up in a harsh neighborhood where the lines between right and wrong were often blurred. His youth was intertwined with the temptations of the criminal underworld, and before considering acting, Tony lived a life very close to the real-life criminal world. That environment shaped him into the person he is, tough, straightforward, and never hypocritical. In 1999, at the age of 57, Tony Sirico took on the role of Paulie Walnuts Gualtieri in The Sopranos. Paulie is an absolutely loyal, hot-tempered, superstitious gangster, sometimes funny but also extremely dangerous. With his distinctive silver hair, cold eyes, and unmistakable demeanor, Paulie quickly became one of the most beloved characters in the series. Tony Sirico didn't act Paulie, To be Paulie brings to the screen an authenticity distilled from her own life. Before entering Hollywood, Tony was arrested more than 28 times for crimes such as theft, assault, and illegal possession of weapons. he never shied away from his past, often admitting that those troubled years helped him deeply understand the psychology of gangster characters. After serving time in prison, Tony decided to change course, turning to acting as the way to atone for his past mistakes and be reborn. Sopranos. This brought Tony Sirico not only fame, but also belated recognition for a man who had once been marginalized by society. Paulie Walnuts was both a source of laughter and a chilling reminder of the price of blind loyalty in the underworld. After the series ended, Tony went on to appear in many television projects, but none of his roles surpassed the shadow of Paulie. In his final years, his health deteriorated significantly. On July 8, 2022, Tony Sirico passed away in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the age of 79. His life story, from street criminal to television icon, is one of the most dramatic journeys Hollywood has ever witnessed. Paulie Walnuts is gone, but Tony Sirico will forever be remembered as an imperfect, yet utterly genuine man. Stephen Van Zandt as Silvio Dante. Stephen Van Zandt was born on November 22, 1950, in Winthrop, Massachusetts, and grew up in New Jersey, the cradle of American rock culture. Before entering the world of acting, he was already a musical icon, famous for his role as the guitarist and key artistic advisor of the legendary band E Street Band, working alongside Bruce Springsteen for decades. In 1999, at the age of 48, Stephen Van Zandt was unexpectedly cast as Silvio Dante in The Sopranos. Despite having virtually no prior professional acting experience, Silvio was Tony Soprano's loyal right-hand man. Calm, taciturn, yet incredibly dangerous. A man who always maintained his composure amidst a world of violence and chaos. Stephen's experienced, cool, and natural demeanor made Silvio one of the most memorable characters in the series. Although he didn't win any major awards for this role, Stephen Van Zandt proved that he was more than just a musician who ventured into acting. He has appeared in Home Alone 1990, and then made a strong impression with the lead role in Lilyhammer, 2012 to 2014, Netflix's first original series, where he served as both the lead actor and producer. The series opened a new chapter in his acting career, solidifying his influence beyond music. Beyond the spotlight, Stephen enjoys a remarkably stable personal life within the entertainment industry. He married Maureen Van Zandt in 1982 in a special ceremony in New York, with Bruce Springsteen as best man. Despite having no children, their marriage has remained strong for over 4 decades. At 74 years old in 2025, Stephen Van Zandt continues to dedicate himself to music, film, and social activism, as an artist who never stands still. Drea de Matteo Chongvai Adriana La Serva. Drea de Matteo was born on January 19, 1972, in Queens, New York, into a vibrant and traditional Italian-American family. This environment helped shape her strong, outspoken, and emotional personality, qualities that would later allow her to fully embody complex roles. In 1999, at the age of 27, Drea took on the role of Adriana La Serva in The Sopranos, Christopher Moltisanti's girlfriend. Adriana is a tragic character, blindly loyal, yearning for love and recognition, yet drawn into a world of crime with no escape. Drea's emotional and authentic performance left audiences feeling both sympathy and sorrow for Adriana's fate. This role earned her the Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 2004, marking the peak of her television career. However, Drea's personal life has been turbulent. She began a relationship with musician Shooter Jennings in 2001, a long-term romance that resulted in 2 children, Alabama, born in 2007, and Waylon, born in 2011. Despite being engaged and marrying in 2015, the marriage ultimately ended in divorce. Despite their separation, Drea and Shooter Jennings maintain a respectful relationship to co-parent their children. In 2025, at age 53, Drea de Matteo will continue her acting career with an independent, strong, and uncompromising spirit, just as she has lived and acted. Michael Imperioli Chongvai Christopher Moltisanti. Michael Imperioli was born on March 26, 1966, in Mount Vernon, New York, a quiet suburb nestled between the vibrant urban life and the quiet working-class atmosphere of America. Growing up in an Italian-American family, Michael was early influenced by traditional culture, European cinema, and the often confusing everyday stories of the immigrant community. From a young age, he was captivated by the stage and theater, viewing acting not just as a profession, but as a way to explore human nature. In 1999, at the age of 33, Michael Imperioli was chosen by David Chase to play Christopher Moltisanti in The Sopranos, a character who is both the spiritual heir and the burden of Tony Soprano. Christopher embodies a new generation of mafia, ambitious, sensitive, yearning for recognition, but simultaneously ravaged by addiction, insecurity, and inner emptiness. This is an extremely difficult role, requiring a delicate balance between violence, vulnerability, and personal tragedy. Michael Imperioli brought a rare depth to Christopher Moltisanti. He was not just a hot-blooded criminal, but a man desperately searching for meaning in life through film, love, and loyalty. It was this authenticity and pain in his portrayal that made viewers both hate and pity Christopher. This role earned Michael the Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actor in 2004, solidifying his position as one of the best television actors of his generation. Unlike many of his colleagues who are caught up in the glitz and glamour and dark side of Hollywood, Michael Imperioli has a relatively stable personal life. He married Victoria Klabowski in 1995. Before The Sopranos, their relationship began, and their marriage lasted nearly 3 decades. They had 3 children together and ran an art studio and creative space where Michael could write scripts, direct, and pursue his literary passion, a lesser-known aspect of his life. However, Michael's path wasn't entirely smooth. He candidly shared about his struggle with alcohol in the early years of his career, a period where professional pressure and inner turmoil made him vulnerable to falling into temptation. This personal experience inadvertently gave him a deeper understanding of Christopher Moltisanti, who also struggled with addiction and feelings of failure. Michael's real-life struggles brought a genuine emotional depth to the role, almost impossible to portray through mere technique. Or The Sopranos. Michael Imperioli continued his tireless work in film, television, and theater, while also writing scripts and teaching acting. By 2025, at age 59, he was no longer a symbol of rebellion or tragedy, like Christopher Moltisanti, but rather the image of a mature, calm, and profound artist. Michael Imperioli's greatest legacy is not just a classic role, but proof that true art can be born from human suffering and redemption. In the role of Dr. Jennifer Melfi, played by Lorraine Bracco. Lorraine Bracco was born on October 2, 1954, in Brooklyn, New York, and grew up in a vibrant community that nurtured her love of acting from a young age. At age 44, she took on the role of Dr. Jennifer Melfi in the 1999 film The Sopranos, portraying a sharp and composed psychiatrist who clashes with Tony Soprano during intense therapy sessions. This role became a turning point in her career, creating one of the most unique on-screen interactions on television, balancing intellect and emotion. Prior to that, she had received an Oscar nomination for her role as Karen Hill in Goodfellas in 1990 and made a lasting impression in Medicine Man in 1992, co-starring Sean Connery. Despite her successful career, Lorraine Bracco has overcome many personal hardships with resilience. She was first married to Daniel Guerard from 1979 to 1982 and had a daughter, Margot. But the marriage ended quickly. She then married actor Edward James Olmos from 1994 to 2002 and had another daughter, Stella. But this relationship was short-lived. Over the years, Lorraine has struggled with depression, a battle she has publicly shared to raise awareness about mental health. By 2025, at age 70, she remains an active and inspiring figure in New York, continuing to motivate others with her story. Robert Eiler as Anthony A. J. Soprano, Jr. Robert Eiler was born on March 2, 1985, in New York City, growing up under the city lights and entering the entertainment industry as a teenager. At age 14, he landed the role of Anthony A. J. Soprano, Jr. in the 1999 film The Sopranos, playing the lazy, disgruntled son of Tony Soprano. J. portrayed the struggles of growing up in a crime-ridden family, and Robert depicted the character's development throughout the series with remarkable authenticity. His career remained closely tied to the show, although he also appeared in Tadpole in 2002 with a comedic role and had a small role in Daredevil in 2003. Like his stalled career, Robert Eiler faced personal difficulties that overshadowed his early fame. In 2001, at just 16 years old and with The Sopranos at the height of his career, he was arrested for robbery in Manhattan with a group of friends, an event that shocked fans and forced him to confront the consequences of his actions. After that incident, Robert gradually distanced himself from the entertainment industry, choosing a more private life. By 2025, at the age of 40, he had chosen a quiet life, away from the spotlight he once knew. Jamie Lynn Sigler Chongvai, Meadow Soprano. Jamie Lynn Sigler was born on May 15, 1981, in Jericho, New York, a peaceful town on Long Island, where she grew up in a middle-class family and showed an early passion for performing arts. From a very young age, Jamie studied singing and acting, nurturing dreams of becoming a Broadway star before television unexpectedly came her way. In 1999, at the age of 18, Jamie Lynn Sigler was cast as Meadow Soprano in The Sopranos. Meadow, the eldest daughter of mafia boss Tony Soprano, is not only a rebellious, intelligent, and sharp young woman, but also represents a new generation, one that dares to question the morality, power, and criminal legacy of its family. Jamie brings to Meadow the perfect blend of youthful innocence and astonishing psychological depth, making the character an integral part of the film's soul. Alongside her resounding success on screen, Jamie's personal life has been full of challenges. She married her manager, Ajay Discala, in 2003, at the height of her career, but the pressures of fame and irreconcilable differences led to their divorce just 3 years later. After many ups and downs, Jamie found peace with former baseball player Cutter Dextra, whom she married in 2016, and with whom she has built a family with 2 sons, Bo and Jack. Few people know that. In 2001, precisely at that time, The Sopranos reaching global heights, Jamie was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, a chronic disease that severely affects the nervous system. She kept this secret for years, continuing to work in silence and enduring both physical and mental pain. By 2025, at age 44, Jamie Lynn Sigler is not only an actress, but also an icon of resilience, inspiring millions with her story of strength and hope. Nancy Marchand as Livia Soprano. Nancy Marchand was born on June 19, 1928, in Buffalo, New York, a harsh industrial city where she learned discipline and perseverance early on. She began her career on Broadway before moving to television, gradually building an image as one of Hollywood's most outstanding supporting actresses. In 1999, at the age of 70, Nancy took on the role of Livia Soprano in The Sopranos. Livia, the domineering, manipulative, and toxic mother of Tony Soprano, despite only appearing in the first 2 seasons, became one of the most terrifying and complex characters in American television history. A master of psychological manipulation, who doesn't resort to violence but still inflicts profound trauma. Previously, Nancy Marchand won 4 Emmy Awards for her role as the powerful publishing house owner in Lou Grant, 1977 to 1982, and also appeared in famous works such as The Naked Gun, 1988, and Sabrina, 1995, demonstrating the ability to flexibly transform from serious to humorous. In real life, Nancy had a lasting marriage to Paul Sparrow from 1951. They had 3 children and lived happily together for nearly half a century, until Paul's death in 1999, a great shock to her. In her final years, Nancy battled lung cancer and passed away on June 18, 2000, in New York, just 1 day before her 72nd birthday. Despite her untimely death, she left behind an enduring artistic legacy and a role that will never be forgotten.